Welcome back, everyone. We prepare the very last round-robin team match between Aura and Sensation. Now, these two teams, one already locked in for the playoffs, and one no longer having that hope on the side of Aura. However, they wish to go out with a bang to prove that the potential they showed in Preseason 1 was not for naught.
Yeah, Aura, I mean, they looked so good in Preseason 1. Preseason 2, just not quite their style, as especially the item mode meta changes have really shook up their play style in that aspect of the game. Despite adding Looting to this roster, I feel like overall they are stronger, but it just hasn't been in the cards for them so far this KDL preseason. And on the flip side, this team that's about to come onto the stage now, Sensation, has been playing so well, Will. In particular, Hojin. You didn't get off to the best start here in KDL Preseason 2, but now in the final match of the round-robin format, he has climbed all the way to second place overall in team standings when it comes down to those team speed matches. I mean, his ranked play has been so good. He's really returning to form, regaining that title as Emperor, and has been a critical part of this team's success coming through from KDL Preseason 2 into the postseason.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just overall, Sensation looking a lot stronger than they did in Preseason 1. So curious to see how they'll wrap up the round robin here, as they are already locked in for the knockout stage, the playoff stage here for Preseason 2.
Yeah, no matter what, they are heading to that postseason. But I think today, this match, a win or a loss defines whether they will come in as Seed 3 or Seed 4. So still a lot to play for. And for Aura right now, sitting just below Sensation overall in the standings, it would be great for them to finish this one on a win, and defeating Aura, the team that basically, by virtue of being rank 4, whereas you're rank 5, the team that eliminated you, in a sense, from that postseason contention, would be a nice little feather in their cap coming into the next season of KDL.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, State, I mean, the item mode's been the thing that kind of played them the most. In fact, it's kind of curious, as that's where we thought they would shine even more in Preseason 2. The water bombs coming down back even stronger, things like that. And Aura just, giving a shout out to Sensation. Congrats. Just do as well for us as well. Moving on, of course, kind of being that quote-unquote amateur team representation, right? A team without the pro band or the pro support, the pro team support behind them.
Yeah, and for Team Aura, I mean, that's just a nice message to say, no hard feelings, although it's got to be a heartbreaker to finish the season at position 5 instead of position 4. Just staying in good spirits, and it goes to show what a quality team Aura is from top to bottom, whereas Sensation, to see Hojin the speed ace right now, 2.95 average rank, averaging ahead of third place every single team speed match. Been so good so far.
Yeah,
this preseason.
That little sticker just saying, oh, what? It's already been 2,000 days since Percent debuted. So celebrating the 2,000 days. And just a little shout out to Aura as well. They just really want to shout this off as much as possible. Showing the younger Percent there. I love it. I love it.
That's a cute little image. But for Sensation here in speed mode, I mean, this team has gotten so good. Hojin especially has stepped up and really fulfills the role of Speed Ace now. It is not just a title for him because of his legendary status, but it's something that's earned. He would be the Speed Ace for many teams given how he's performing. And here looking at this, Aura with speed mode priority. Take Zigzag Timberland as track number 1, Mine 3 Shortcuts track number 2, and then we move on to Brazil Circuit Facility 5 and Village Boomhill Tunnel for round 5. So some difficult tracks to start things off, and then it gets a little bit easier as we progress through, a little bit less technical overall in the speed mode. But it should be a very fiery start here. Yeah,
I'm curious, especially just with the picks coming out from Sensation, going for a little bit of the uncommon picks as we move on in the full best of 5. But first off, we kick things off on 4 Zigzag Timberland. And it starts the last race for both these teams in the round-robin stage. Aura, of course, their last send-off here in Preseason 2.
Yeah, Aura looking to pick up a win, and go home happy here after a very good KDL Preseason 2. Unfortunately, not making it to the postseason, but no one's going to balk it. Rank 5, especially after their postseason performance in KDL Preseason 1, as this team looks to hang with the best of them. And now coming up here against Sensation, Hojin and Percent off to a really good start overall. Hojin just padding the stats almost, it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, we even saw in one of the kind of fun videos, the behind-the-scenes videos in the commercial, where Hojin's so eager to set new records on all the tracks that they race on. I mean, he's really coming back into form. And a lot of the fans, even in Korea, just saying, okay, maybe he really just didn't have that much time to practice for Preseason 1, right? Now that he's grinding, we see that he's just as good as he ever was back in his prime.
He really is looking like the Hojin of old right now here in KDL Preseason 2, as he's turned a corner, so to speak, on what was not the performance the fans expect from him in Preseason 1. Now he's just looking so good, one of the best racers overall by far here, not just in ace matches, but also just overall in team speed. And you see it right now. I mean, he is taking his build to the limits here, just comfortably in position 1 from really the beginning of this track now here into lap number 2.
Yeah, Percent just being so sturdy right behind him. Meanwhile, Joker has good control of that midfield, and in fact, Guard shoots back forward as well to provide that support. Now, Hero does inch forward, and Luning's going to find a nice inner line to pass by the two members, Percent. And Hojin actually blocks out Percent into the wall as well, so Luning doing some amazing attacking work here for the side of Aura.
A surprising role reversal right now with Hero and Luning actually breaking away from Hojin and Percent, who for the majority of lap number 1 and also starting lap number 2 absolutely dominated those top 2 spots. Now coming into the later and more technical sections of Zigzag Timberland, it's going to be very difficult for Hojin and his remaining teammates to try and pass this. And you see Knock right now doing a fantastic job of just causing problems. So much momentum lost here on the side of Sensation.
Yeah, Knock literally just has to tie up the rest of the team, right? Hojin alone cannot flip the standings here. You know, even if he were to pass Luning, maybe then he still needs to pass Hero, and it's not going to be enough as the boost come through. And it's going to be Hero Luning, the 1-2 punch of Aura to kick things off on track 1 of speed mode.
And I got to say, I mean, this is a really top-heavy lineup that we have right here between Aura and Team Sensation, with Hero and Luning also being, you know, top 6 racers so far in this league, joining Hojin at position 2. I mean, it is so tight at the top of every single race. And, you know, these are teams that very often would try to play for the high finish, the 1-2 finish, whenever they race in team speed mode, but it's going to be so difficult for them to pull it off so far here in this match. But, you know, Hero and Luning coming through, and this one after not the best start. I mean, just showing the diligence to come back in track number 1 like that is really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, just never letting go of that hope, right? Knowing when you have those opportunities, even coming into lap 2, that straight away, it looked like there wasn't much of a chance. And then right before they enter the second half of the track, we see Hero takes first place and Luning joins him right as the season opening, right? We saw Sensation kind of taking a safer route around one of those wide corners. Luning just says, I will gladly take that straight away. So now they take the lead 1-0 against Sensation as we get ready for round number 2 in speed mode. We go to Sensation's pick of Mine 3 Shortcuts.
Aura wins track number 1. Let's see if they can repeat it here on track number 2. Sensation's pick is Hojin yet again off to a great start in first place, contesting with Aura's Hero.
Yeah, Hojin and Hero, of course, some personal history behind them as well. Hojin coaching Hero for a little while back in Kart Rider, so curious to see them continuing to face off against each other. Hojin just trying to prove once again that veterancy reigns supreme. He recovers well off of that bump from Hero.
Yeah, that collision could have been perilous there for Hojin, but was able to recover and actually collide back, zoning out Hero a little bit and making him eat the same momentum loss that Hojin suffered. As coming into lap number 2 of this 3-lap track, Hojin and Hero still going head-to-head. Hero looked like he might have been able to find a line there, and finally he does. Upseat Hojin, and now it is a 1v2 here with C's. You got to think that Hojin might have his work cut out for him, but Hero with an ambitious line, caught the wall, falls all the way down into 8th place, and by a lot too. So Hojin and Percent now able to actually take this line here in the front of the pack and really contest with Aura.
Yeah, Hojin runs into the wall just a tad bit as well. They're trying to avoid one of the collisions from behind. So Percent now tasked with holding on to the front of the line. Hojin will be in draft range plenty of times here to catch back up. And Percent just backing off, making sure they can double team. However, Seas is right behind Hojin, so Sensation's not quite out of the woods just yet.
No, Guard and Joker need to start moving up in those mid ranks a little bit right now. As Guard, you see him battling on the left side with Seas for that 5th rank position. As unless they're able to get that first place spot taken away from Knock here, as Percent is hot on his tail. It's going to be very hard for Hojin to come away with a win. Let's see if they can do it though.
Pushes him out around the corner, but Looning just barely recovers here, and Knox still holding on to that first place, and it's going to be the 1-3 for Aura, but it's not enough. It's Sensation get the 4-5-6, getting the point lead in round 2.
Yeah, I mean, they really needed those back racers to close the distance, and they certainly did, with Guard and Joker moving up their ranks, and 4-5-6 going to Sensation, just eking out a win by 1 point over their rivals here, as that was a very close track on Mine 3 shortcuts.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty dicey both ways, and honestly, the opening started to show when Hero just runs into that wall, unable to recover, finished in 8th place, right where he got dropped off into. The Sensation didn't miss a beat to recover off of that.
Yeah, I mean, if Hero was able to stay up in the rankings throughout that track, it's could be a very different outcome. We could see Aura moving up 2-0, but instead we're all tied up 1-1 right now, getting ready to go into round number 3 as Sensation Aura, following the theme of today, it's been a very close battle, and you can see there's not as much pressure here in this match. Tournament life is no longer on the line with Aura eliminated, so a lot of smiles on both sides of the bench as we get ready to go into the 3rd track of this match in speed mode. It's going to be WKC Brazil Circuit.
And the race is off on track number 3. Now, while tournament life already fixed for both teams, we do have to remind you that Sensation, if they win this match at all, they will be 3rd seed against the Guangdong Freaks, gaining that advantage in priority of map draft. Meanwhile, if they lose the match in any fashion, they will be dropping back down to 4th place, and Guangdong Freaks will finish 3rd.
Yeah, my goodness, could you imagine a world where the Freaks finished 4th in KDL Preseason? We could not have really predicted this after KDL Preseason 1. It's been really, a testament to how much the skill has improved across the board here in Kart Rider Drift.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Hero was able to stabilize earlier by just taking a bit of a more aggressive shortcut and is able to hang on to the midfield, but of course we still have Guard and Joker up front. Now, Hojin and Percent, they're quite far behind, just getting the drafts off of each other to try to catch back up.
Yeah, they're trying their best, and they should be mostly unimpeded, so would not be surprised to see them actually enter the fray again here once we move on to lap number 2. But for now, Aura playing a 4v2 with all their roster going up against Guard and Joker, who are trying their best to battle here against Seas, and just drafting off each other, much like Hojin and Percent at the bottom of the ranks, able to close the distance quite well.
Yeah, Guard eventually taking that first spot, and that's the most important thing, is that Guard and Joker, they're tying up all of Aura, giving time for Hojin and Percent to try to catch back up into the midfield.
Absolutely, and you see right now Guard actually able to hold on to 1st place along with Joker, although Guard goes for a different build right now, and it's Joker almost in a 1v3 with Knock and Looning also right behind him. But now Hojin coming all the way from 8th place back into the fray here.
Yeah, and we do have Guard still able to contest. He's actually going to try to box out, not going to get the collision, but he will be able to maintain his speed off of that boost and trying to just contest against Looning. Now Knox starting to run things away. Guard realizes he wants to catch back up, get in that draft range. Can he get it? It's looking a little tough.
Yeah, it's very close here for Guard. He has to get that 1st place. If Sensation wants to win this one, they're not going to have the same midfield advantage they did previously, and no, Aura is going to be winning track number 3 here in Brazil, as they bended, but they did not break. Knock and Looning, especially in position 1 and 3, really coming through in the clutch.
Yeah, just a clean 1-3-5-7 odd number finish here for Aura, keeping the lead 2-1 in speed mode as they face off against Sensation in their last team match of Preseason 2.
Yeah, it's looking really good right now for Aura. Coming up against Sensation, even Knox setting a record here. I was surprised by that pace. He upset Spear, who, remember, from earlier today, despite all the team fighting, was able to set a record of his own on Brazil Circuit, as, some of these very competitive lobbies leading to records being broken here in the final day of the round robin at the KDL.
Yeah, just fans of Aura saying, still enjoy your time on stage, even for the last one. It's a little too late to cover your face there, my friend, with that sign. You're already caught on camera.
Yeah, Sensation all smiles. It really does feel like they aren't getting too much under their own skin, not feeling the pressure despite rank 3 and rank 4. The seeding coming into the equation here. And let's see if that free spirit's going to carry them to a victory here as we move on to Factory Facility 5. And here we go, match point for Speed right now with Aura up 2-1 over Team Sensation.
Yeah, Aura, can they wrap things up in a clean 3-1 here, try to gain an advantage going to item mode, or will we go to track 5 as we have done all night long so far here in the last day of the team matches round robin?
Yeah, that's right. If Sensation wins this one, we're going to keep up the streak and have 5 straight series going the distance, 3-2. Pretty crazy. It is looking good for Sensation right now on this one. Lappers, oh wow, big collisions.
Yeah, we saw a couple members try to go for the kneel build there on the inside of the cogwheel, and it doesn't pay off for a single one. They all collide against each other. Hojun, I believe, was the first one to try it. Drops all the way down to 7th place. Him and C's in the battle of their own for 7th place. They will not be catching up by all realistic means. Now it's a 6-man race at the top.
Yeah, it looked like Hojun and C's for a moment there. They recognized how far they had fallen, and they decided to take one more spin just to build up the nitrous gauge for their teammates as best as possible to help them fight here in the top of ranks. It's all going to come down to this right now. Hero trying to battle against Percent. It's so close in these 1-2 spots. Hero, if he's able to break away into first place, that could be the win that Aura needs, but maybe their midfield would be strong enough even without him.
Oh, but Percent has to give away that first seed for now, and Guard wasn't quite in position to support right behind. So the 1-2 and advantage of Aura, we're nearing the last 400, 300 meters, but a nice shove out from Percent. They hold on to the 2-3, but is that enough? Knock is able to catch back up in 4th place, and Aura will be finishing with the point lead, 20-19, and they take the 3-1 victory.
That was a crazy sweep, man. I thought that might just completely change the outcome of this race, but Aura was strong enough in the midfield that they had a little bit of insurance, still able to eke out the win, and this one will not go the distance. A 3-1 victory here in speed mode for Team Aura.
Yeah, I mean, that's a rough one. Hojun trying for the kneel build. You love to see it. It's so rough, especially in team mode when everyone's fairly grouped up early on, but it actually just does not pay off at all, unfortunately, giving the lead to Aura. Still a close one to the very end, but a 3-1 speed mode victory.
Yeah, looking really good in speed as Aura, as they are not phased by being eliminated from the postseason, still giving it their all here. And the final match of the round robin, and for Sensation now, they have to win an item mode to force an ace match if they want to maintain that 3rd place seed. Otherwise, it will be going to the Freaks. So roster change now coming in, Tech being swapped in for Looning, the speed ace being swapped out.
Yeah, Tech, I mean, he's the one that a lot of people hope to see shine in this new meta where a lot more attacking, a lot more aggression is favored, and he just has not been able to reproduce the impact that he has done in his past careers. Curious to see if he'll still end on a bang against Sensation. Meanwhile, of course, no substitution for Sensation, another 4-man roster a la the KWANGDONGFREECS. Now we take a look at the map draft, the track draft rather, and we do have Sensation taking Forest Mushroom Caves first, and then we go down the line to World Tour London Night, Mine Magma Cavern, Village Town Hall, and last but not least, Mine Mother Lode.
And Sensation overall has been the stronger item mode so far in this KDL preseason, but Aura, you know, despite a kind of dismal 1-5 set win rate, by far the worst in KDL preseason 2 in item, you know, track by track, they're not doing that bad. You can still see that the Noctec duo is a force to be reckoned with a 42% win rate. So there is a chance for them here against Sensation, but Sensation looking so much stronger here in item mode, and with item mode track preference, should have an advantage coming into this one. Let's see if they can start a comeback and force an ace match here as we move on to track number 1, Forest Mushroom Caves. Sensation needing to force that ace match to have a chance to maintain the 3rd place seed into the playoffs. A lot on the line, already picking up a big team play item with Joker getting the first Angel Shield on the board.
Yeah, surely you saved that one all the way to the end. Now, not as many opportunities to cycle through your items here on this 2-lapper. A bit of a longer track here for item mode. Curious to see if they're happy just to keep that Angel Shield, or if they feel the pressure to cycle through a bit faster.
I don't think they're going to cycle through it unless they get something like a Lightning Bolt popped early here by Team Aura, and we'll we'll see if that happens, but generally the meta seems to be quite settled now in KDL Preseason 2, as we did have a shakeup to start things out. And actually, Aura C's now picking onto a Thunderbolt, so we will keep our eye on that, because that is really what Sensation, I think, will be waiting for with that Angel Shield right now on Joker.
Yeah, surely, and with this, you absolutely keep a hold of that Angel Shield. Now, Hojin has a pretty hefty lead, still got a shield as well, so he's really going to draw out a lot of that aggro from the enemies. The Water Bomb's nowhere close to reaching the distance to Hojin. A nice little spin turn from C's to make sure that he can spin off of that, gain some extra momentum. He spins out after that one himself.
Yeah, like 3 different rockets, too. 4 C's. You imagine making the stunning play like that, and then you just get absolutely dunked on by all these attacks. So, you know, it hurts a little bit, but Hojin still able to maintain first place position. It's actually Nock. I mean, Aura right now has 3 lightning bolts. Nock has picked up 2 of them so far. So now that we're on the final lap with only 1 Angel Shield on the side of Sensation, I'm really worried about their odds. They do not seem to have the utility in the bank to really be able to deal with what Aura is going to bring to the table. Now, they do have a lightning bolt of their own, so should that Angel Shield pop and block the Lightning Bolt from Team Aura, it's still going to be a 1 Lightning Bolt advantage here.
Sure,
for
but
Aura.
Individual shield on Joker as well. So Sensation, they eat the first one. They're going to try to answer back. And immediately Joker, he's going to start pushing forward. He's got the individual shield.
Oh, the water
the
wisp.
Timing with the wisp. It eats up the shield before the Lightning Bolt hits. Now Hero, he's getting tied up. He does have the boost, but is it enough to keep the lead? Joker has nothing to catch up. And the Rocket's not going to be enough. Hero will finish in first place, giving Aura the track lead.
Yeah, you can see Hero just get bogged down by that Lightning Bolt, but everybody on Sensation also got bogged down by that last Lightning. Aura was able to dish out, so the momentum was not there to actually close the distance, and Hero, with a nice little burst and a Nitrous, able to finish in first place. Fantastic stuff by him, as Aura looking to rebound a little bit here in item mode against one of the better teams in item mode so far in KDL Preseason 2.
Yeah, I mean, sure, you got the 3 lightning bolts, but also just the timing, right? Timing things like the Wisp and the lightning bolt to make sure at least one or the other hits. Things like that, the promises are starting to shine through just a bit more for Aura here in item mode in their last team mode match here of the round robin.
Yeah, but I mean, for Aura, you look at that and you had 3 lightning bolts. Can you win if you have a little bit less of a draw? Because it is one of the reasons why we play a best of 5 here in item mode, is there is some variance from game to game in terms of who the item gods are going to favor. We'll see if strategically they remain sound here as we move on to track number 2. It's going to be World Tour London Night, Aura versus Sensation here in the final match of the round robin.
Round 2 starts on World Tour London Night, and picked a note of this off of one of the fan signs, but it does appear that today is Aura Hero's birthday. So a quick little shout out to Hero on his birthday, see if he can gift himself a nice little win as they exit Preseason 2.
Well, happy birthday, Hero. Yeah, that would be a nice little gift for him. Walk away with the victory here and solidify their position in rank 5 here in the standings, wrapping up KDL Preseason 2, as here on lap number 1 of London Night, Joker actually able to make his way onto the high ground and use that shortcut, gain a little bit of momentum, a little bit of tempo here.
Yeah, and he goes around the outside, just tries to cycle through more items. That does give him a banana and a shield for his troubles, but not anything that he's going to be keen to hold on to for too long.
No, and once again, the team play items really favoring Aura right now, with C's picking up both the Lightning Bolt and the Angel Shield now. He has both of those, so he's going to be done cycling through items up until basically the finish line. Yeah. So that means that Sensation, they are going to have a couple more chances here to actually, pad their lead, or not pad their lead, excuse me, cycle through and gain some items. It's a little bit of a traffic jam right now.
Yeah, I love that everyone's just trying to hold off because of the items that are coming, and Joker just trying to sweep around, body block off of that UFO. Just some interesting scenarios here happening, but here's the thing. You mentioned the Angel Shield and the Lightning Bolt, but Hero also has a Magnet and the boost as well. So does Guard, but of course, tying in with the team play items from Aura, looks like their win conditions are a lot clearer.
Yeah, absolutely here for Team Aura. As, at this point, he's basically the team play player, and especially here being in rank 2, this is lovely for him because he's going to be eating aggro, but he's not really the one whose job is to cross the finish line for Team Aura. That's going to fall down to somebody like Hero with a Lightning Bolt, excuse me, a Magnet and a Nitrous, or Tech with the exact same build.
Yeah, so you got 2 people lined up, ready to finish and cross that finish line. The lightning bolt's going to come early. It's going to just tie up a lot of Sensation members because they know they now have the boost coming. You still have double Angel Shield as well. Nothing is going to be stopping this Aura squad. The Angel Shield's a little late, so the rocket will hit, but another Angel Shield will eat that lightning bolt. Meanwhile, Percent and Hojin, they shoot forward. The Magnet dragging him back, but meanwhile, Hojin is able to still keep the lead. So does Guard. And Aura, a bit of a missed timing on a couple of those items and gives way to Sensation.
Yeah, you really thought with the build they had set up there and the items they had in their inventory that they could make the perfect combo happen as we finish on London's night, but you know, Sensation just with a little bit too much speed, and Guard, despite being zapped by that lightning bolt, able to reach the finish line first, and Sensation ties it up 1-1 here.
Yeah, man, Aura, I feel like they probably also felt that they had it on lockdown, but the Magnets not exactly tying back the people they needed to. Of course, the reset's coming in quick from Sensation as well. And at that point, Sensation able to finish first. A nice little Sensation fan sign with the boost, the fan boost, it says. All right.
Makes him go a little bit faster.
Oh, I mean, hey, it worked in that one for London Knight. See if we can continue on the remaining item mode tracks.
Yeah, Sensation looking really good here. Would love to win 2 more tracks and force that ace match to have a chance at coming into the postseason in seed number 3 and get a little bit of drafting priority up against the KWANGDONGFREECS.
Tied 1-1 in item mode. Next up, it is going to be going back to Sensation's pick. We have Mind Magma Cavern waiting for us. Can Sensation begin the comeback, or will Aura start to run away with the lead? Once again, we find out in round 3 of item mode.
All tied up 1-1 as we move to Mind Magma Cavern here, a tricky map with some potential for some surprising finishes. You know, there is that narrow ramp leading up to the finish line that we have seen water balloons absolutely make plays happen as Tech gets slowed on the uphill portion here of this track, but luckily does get 2 Nitrous, so able to close the distance right now and work his way all the way back up into first place.
Yeah, just looking for some of those, last place items, but it's just the boost coming in. A quick reset to avoid dropping into the magma and wasting too much time. You see everything resetting just a bit. Now Tech way far in the lead, finally gets slowed down. Sensation says we do not want to let him keep that tempo up. We will bring him back down as far as possible. Water bomb is being used just to try to tie up members of Aura as well. Yeah,
Guard just wants to cycle through those and pick up 2 new items and see if he can get some big value team play items set up. As it is right now, just Nitrous and Magnets really on the board, although a lot of attacks just got picked up. Water balloons, whips, and rockets here as Joker does get hit by one of them. Also hits the barricade, so a lot of momentum lost here. Tech trying to push him into the lava. Joker standing his own though.
Yeah, and he's going to shield a lot of those attacks as well. The water bomb barely avoiding that one. The UFO, he's trying to just body block everyone, create a nice congestion, and that will bring everyone back together in a nice huddle.
Yeah, absolutely, and now with some magnets being popped here, as no one really wants to double up on those magnets, we do have players changing hands, joining the middle field from the back ranks as enter, water balloon right there connects with a lot of racers.
Yeah, so many attacking items in the form of water bombs, missiles, and the water wisps, sprinkled in here and there as well. Now finally a lightning bolt in favor of Aura. Once again, they're the ones with the initiative and team play.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the item gods have been shining brightly on them, but we are all tied up 1-1, so Sensation's been playing well despite really not having the best draw in terms of items, and now picking up some Angel Shields on Sensation's side. There is a counterplay here to that lightning bolt on Hero.
Yeah, now Sensation, that means they should have at least some other person on standby to try to overtake once one of them gets magneted if they're out front. Currently Tech leading the charge right now. He will get slowed down. Percent, we have 3 members, Percent, Hojin, and Joker. This means, yeah, the magnets start to come in, but Hojin should be able to try to drag them back. The UFO being eaten by Percent. Hojin gets put in the lead. Only 300 meters left.
Double Nitrous on Hojin, and Joker right there got picked up, and so Joker, although Hojin got bogged down on the left side by some attacks, Joker had just enough speed. Those item bags came through in the clutch with the lead racer, some Sensation, picking up Nitrous right before the finish line. They are able to skirt past Aura Seas and secure first place there. Going up 2-1 now in item mode. 1 track win away from forcing an ace match here in the final match of the round robin.
Oh man, it would be quite interesting if they were also go to the ace match, and then it's Hojin once again that really just secures their position in third place in the postseason. Because for this team, the story once again has been focusing on Hojin, his recovery to prime form.
Absolutely. I mean, I would love to see an ace match personally, just because I'm a Hojin fan, man. I mean, he's been racing out of his mind so far this season, and Aura, although they are out of postseason contention, I mean, at the top of the speed race track, they're so good. They have so many players in the upper leaderboards here. As we got to recap really quickly on this one. That water bomb connecting with 3 racers, and then lap number 3 heading into the finish line. You can see the nitrous coming through in the clutch. Now, Hojin did get bogged down by, I think, a water wisp or a water balloon, but coming in on the outside was Joker, as they were able to share the aggro amongst each other and tag team that victory.
Yeah, I mean, again, as soon as you saw the Angel Shield, the Lightning Bolt pretty much out of question as long as the timing works out. And then it's just more about, okay, how do we battle the magnets from the other side? Well, if you have your own boost, you can always overtake each other afterwards. So now, with Sensation in the lead 2-1, we go to round 4 of item mode. It will be Village Town Hall. Sensation looking to make the ace match happen. Aura trying to finish things in a clean 2-0 as we begin the race here on Village Town Hall.
Yeah, Sensation just one track went away from forcing that ace match. Would love to see Hojin battle against some of these top-ranking speed racers on Team Aura, as that really has been their forte, and kind of a switch from KDL Preseason 1 to Preseason 2. Previously, this team, we used to look at them as specialists in item mode, but here in KDL Preseason 2, it really is speed where they have shined.
Yeah, absolutely. So Aura, they've got their work cut out for them. Of course, this was their track choice, so surely they have a bit of a clear idea on how they want to set up as we get near the second half of the entire race.
Yeah, Hojin right now holding on to double Angel Shields. Probably going to hold on to those for the remainder of this track, so Sensation with a little bit less item rotation, as Hojin will not be cycling along with his teammates, meaning that Aura might be able to close the distance in terms of team play items in that regard. And speaking of guard, actually, with a shield able to deflect another aggro, he is breaking away a little bit. Now, this is a play that we sometimes see happen here on Village Town Hall, as one racer just absolutely is able to move away from the pack, but now it's Guard and Seas who are slowing down, waiting for everybody else to join in as we come on to these next items. Wow,
and double Angel Shields here for Hojin, so he's kind of in a perfect support spot right now. We'll have to eat that water bomb as it lands on perfect timing. But take a look at the rest of the items as we enter lap 3. We've got quite a few magnets on the sides of Aura. Surely you cycle at least one of those out to try to see if you can gain another Nitro.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you just cycle them out for tempo right here and try to get some better combination heading into the finish line, as there really is no big attacks. In fact, the only attack on the board right now is a UFO that gets popped and is going to connect with Seas, as Water Balloon gets cycled out. Take avoids that easily. Doesn't have to change his line, as it really is going to come down to speed here in the finish.
Yeah, Guard just getting caught up by that water wisp there, all on his lonesome. Meanwhile, up front, Guard once again with a nice shield this time. He shoots back forward. He's got another individual shield and the Angel Shield as well. The Magnet cannot stop him, and the Wisp denied as well. And that's a first place finish, and that means with a 3-1 score, we go to the ace match.
Yeah, Sensation able to force that ace match is fantastic now, as we are in for a treat. Undoubtedly, I think we will see the Emperor rise again here in the final ace match of the regular season here in KDL Season 2. And it's fun to see as well, because, as I said, Aura, they have so many racers that are topping the standings right now. Looting coming into today, the speed ace on their team in position 5 overall. Hero, the runner on their team, position 4 overall when it comes to individual rankings in that team speed mode. So there are some racers here that can go head-to-head against Hojin.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is both Looting and Hero, either of them, if they come out in the ace match, they have actually raced against Hojin in the ace match in Preseason 1 previously as well, of course, in different teams. And Hojin, that was actually the first ace match, I believe, of Preseason 1. He ekes out the win against Hero, his old, mentee. And then afterwards, he actually faces defeat to Looting in Preseason 1. So curious to see if it will indeed be Hojin who will be the opponent, surely one or the other, out of Looting or Hero. We have seen Nock come out in a couple of those ace matches prior as well, though.
That is true, Sensation. They are not a one trick. They do have a lot of players they can rely on, but for me at least, if I was the coach of this team, I think you're just putting in the Emperor, you're putting in the veteran who has the most experience of anybody else on stage. in a 1v1 race that decides whether you're going to be the 3rd seed in the postseason or the 4th seed. I mean, that's a lot of pressure, so we'll see if they decide to make that choice. It really is up to them, as you can see the teams now kind of conversing and deciding who the best racer on each team is going to be. And of course, it also comes down to the form on any given day, right? Yeah,
and of course, which track, as we always like to discuss. So, you know, we see a couple of the racers with headsets on and ready to go, but it doesn't look like the final submission has quite been made yet, as Nock once again wants to discuss with the remainder of his teammates. We do have Hero just warming up his keyboard. Curious to see if that's because he will be the one entering or not. Should have the track selection up on screen soon, and then we'll have a better idea of who will be moving forward.
That was a cool keyboard that Hero had. I want another shot of that one, man. I haven't. Looks pretty nice.
Hero and Looney looks like they've. Oh, it looks like they're all using the same keyboard on the side of Aura.
Yeah, I like the switches up there, especially with using the arrow keys here in Kart Rider. Very cool setup on the right side of that one. So it looks like Sensation is still kind of deciding a little bit about who the racer is going to be, or perhaps giving some tips.
Could be. I mean, we saw Percent and Hojin talking right there. Hojin maybe not feeling up to par today. Is a feasibility.
We have been fooled before in the past, so
true.
Until I see those names, I'm not going to try and make any too deep reads here.
I mean, we just have to wait. And here's the thing is that unless one team has like a purely, like in the past, Jung, in the previous Songnam Rocks version roster, then it was always obvious it was going to be Jung. But once you have 1 or 2, maybe 3 people that can enter, it's always, on any given day, it could be anyone. And we are going to Factory Facility 5, a spicy one for the ace match here.
Yeah, that is a spicy ace match track. We have seen some players take some lines that did not go very well for them on this one before. Gotta wonder how that's gonna play in a 1v1 scenario here.
And who will it be? It's actually going to be Nock and Percent.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah. Now, Percent, I believe, did come out in an ace match in Preseason 1 as well, so it's kind of a day-to-day thing, but usually it's always been Hojin. But let's remember, Hojin tried for the Neil build earlier here on Facility 5, collided into the wall, and a ton of people dropping off the track. Meanwhile, Nock being given another chance here before the ace matches.
Yeah, another surprising pick considering how good Hero and Looning have been racing for Team Aura. They just want to give Nock another chance as he has been performing. And the aces with 2 surprising selections, one from each team. Sensation versus Aura now in this 1v1 ace match will decide who is going to be the 3rd seed and the 4th seed in the KDL postseason. All comes down to this. It'll be decided here on Factory Facility 5.
And the race begins, a 1v1. Now, Nock most recently won his ace match just last week in Match 23 of Preseason 2. Meanwhile, Percent, it's been a full preseason since he's returned for the ace matches. So Nock, maybe he's a little bit fresher here in terms of memory, and it looks like he's running away.
Yeah, that's a very nice line from Nock, as Percent off to a little bit of a slow start here. Although he is ahead in Nitrous Gauge, he's going to have to leverage that advantage to close the distance on Nock, who is breaking away a little bit here, coming in with a build. Nothing too dangerous on either side as they're both able to navigate that tricky section of this map quite well.
Yeah, and Percent, he really does have to deviate a little bit from his build. It looks like just trying to sneak in a couple extra cuts. Even earlier, we saw him trying to take a sharper jump on that cog to really maintain boost gauge, because otherwise, he's not going to be able to catch up.
No, the distance that Nock has is still quite large, although Percent with a really long sweeping turn on a tight line is able to close it a little bit. Now both players able to navigate this shortcut as well, and now within drafting range is Percent. It's getting very close, Will.
Yeah, he's really managed to build up enough boost and find the right deviations on those shortcuts, but he's just out of range to really maintain the full draft here. Nock not giving the time of day. Percent, he doesn't quite fill it up just yet. He's trying to maintain it for that last stretch. We enter the 500 meters.
Yeah, 400 meters left to go. Nock still in a commanding position right now. Percent, it would have taken a Hail Mary for him to come back from this one as Nock was firing on all cylinders here for Team Aura, and he's going to deliver the win to his teammates. So a nice feather in their cap closing out the KDL Preseason 2. They will not be heading to the postseason, but that's a nice victory to go home at. As for Sensation now, almost all but assuredly falling to 4th seed now in the postseason behind the KWANGDONGFREECS.
Yeah, unfortunate. I mean, it did look like Percent had a decent idea of how he could catch up after he lost so much speed in the beginning. You know, he found the right openings to deviate from his regular build to try to catch back up. He was barely in draft range, but just couldn't get it before the final straightaway happened, you know, or the second to last straightaway, and Knock, the boost was just too much. Gets out of range. Knock, a very stable ace match win, but Sensation's not too bothered. They already had their playoffs locked in.
Laughing a little bit too hard there. Maybe got
like, hold on. No, we lost. I'm sorry. No, I will show humility in my loss.
Oh, it's a funny moment there, but yeah, one of the more relaxed matches that we've had here in the KDL Preseason 2 is both teams in very good spirits, and Sensation, you know, their eyes are already fixed on that playoff match against the KWANGDONGFREECS. They knew who their opponents were going to be heading into the postseason before this match today, and it's still ringing true. And Aura, again, with that victory, winning in speed mode, and then coming through into the ace match. Nice victory for them.
Yeah, I mean, once again, it just shows that Aura is not a weak team by any means. It was always going to be a tough toss-up between Aura and any other team that tried to challenge for 4th place. It's just that this time around, it's actually Sensation who really grows in item mode, especially with the addition of Joker after they, you know, let go of Speed or Byung-Soo now, who moved on to Live Sandbox. So, you know, it's just who upgraded faster into Preseason 2's meta, and this time around it was Sensation. Aura, sad to see them go, but hope to see them come back even stronger, and maybe even with, you know, at least the same core here going into the regular season.
Yeah, I would not be surprised by that at all. This is a team that showed up in KDL Preseason 1 and surprised a lot of teams with their item prowess. And then here in KDL Preseason 2, they were able to demonstrate a lot of skill in team speed mode. So they've been able to show over the course of 2 seasons, you know, we do have the capability to succeed in item mode when we understand the meta, when we have a good feel for it. Also, we have the capability of competing with top teams like Sensation in speed mode when it calls for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the addition of Hero and Looning absolutely strengthened their speed mode. The item mode, not quite there yet, but again, a lot of teams struggled in the beginning of Preseason 2. We have to remember that, and I think, quite frankly, maybe not entirely stabilized just yet in terms of meta, and surely we'll see changes to that moving forward as well as the game continues to evolve and develop itself.
Yeah, the meta still feels a little bit track dependent here in KDL Preseason 2, whereas in KDL Preseason 1, if you remember, it was all about, you know, the magnets and the nitrous. The attacks were not as frequent, not as powerful. It was easier to manage them on both sides of the ball, and so right now, here in KDL Preseason 2 with this attack-based meta, it's a lot of the times coming down to, you know, attacks like Lightning Bolts and Angel Shields, as we're going to take a quick look at the results from today. But it is interesting to see how these teams, you know, adapt over the course of the season. And certainly the meta, it feels more solved now in item mode. And you can see Aura picking up a little bit more steam towards the end of the preseason, but unable to get it going.
Well, unfortunate for Aura, and of course unfortunate for these 2 teams we see on the screen, as they did not have a shot at the playoffs as they wrapped up their last team matches. However, it's going to be Seraphic taking the clean win 2-0, granted a bit of a lengthy one, 3-2 on both speed and item, against Potential, and trying to push themselves away from the last 2 seeds, say that they have more room to grow in the future.
Yeah, Seraphic doubling their speed round wins in total with this match win against Potential. So that's going to be feeling really good for them, as you know, the start of the KDL preseason was a scary one for that team. And of course, in the headline match today, Sungnam Rocks pulling through with an ace match victory over KWANGDONGFREECS after this one also went the distance. 3-2 to the Freaks in speed, 3-2 to the Rocks in item, and then just coming through in the clutch, able to secure that 1st place playoff berth.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not something a lot of people expected coming into this preseason too, but the fashion they did it in, right? They win the item mode. It's against the defending champions, and it's not Jung who carries the ace match, but it's Ding. I mean, everything proving that the evolution of Sungnam Rocks is complete. Here's to see how they fare against Live Sandbox in the playoffs. KWANGDONGFREECS, of course, will be facing off against Sensation in the 3rd, 4th match here, moving on, opening up the playoffs, in fact, 4 team matches.
Absolutely. I feel like the playoffs are going to be very close and very exciting this postseason, even more so than KDL Preseason 1. As Sensation, although they lost this game, they are still heading to the postseason. Aura, of course, as we just saw, with a 3-1 win in speed, and then able to deliver the victory and an ace match on Factory Facility 5 of all tracks.
Yeah, a very interesting one, but Nock able to secure that for the team. So it's going to be Aura just taking one extra win for themselves, but unable to continue the competition here in Preseason 2. We'll have to wait to see what the future holds for them in the upcoming regular season of the KDL later on in the year.
Yeah, that set differential and round differential just going too far in the favor of Sensation, who really from the beginning of KDL Preseason 2 were at the top of their game as Hojun's return to form really proving to give dividends through and through. As here we get a final look at the standings, and it will be Sungnam Rocks in first place with a +7 set and +13 round differential. They will face off against Live Sandbox in the upper bracket finals, whereas the Freaks and Sensation are going to battle in the lower bracket.
Yeah, I mean, I am curious, right? There is a world where Sensation can beat the Freaks going into the playoffs. You know, of course, Sensation continue to grow stronger and stronger, and KWANGDONGFREECS, quite frankly, not looking as unbeatable as they used to. And then meanwhile, Sungnam Rocks, I mean, going up against Live Sandbox, again, anybody's game. This top four, no matter how it shakes up, it's going to be an interesting one.
I mean, any season where the KWANGDONGFREECS go 4-3 means that at the top of the league, it is hot and heavy. I mean, nobody went undefeated here. You know, KDF, they tried to make it happen in KDL Preseason 1 here. In KDL Preseason 2, Sungnam Rocks, Live Sandbox all the way through the round robin, only went 6-1 as you know, it's very tight at the top. You can see everybody's improved a ton. As, of course, we just talked about KWANGDONGFREECS versus Sensation, that lower bracket finals, a do-or-die match. Sungnam Rocks versus Live Sandbox in the upper bracket finals, going to try and get that playoff berth into the grand finals with a victory.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically the biggest difference here being that, as you mentioned, State, KWANGDONGFREECS and Sensation, it's do or die. You are out if you lose that one. But, of course, the upper bracket finals, even if you lose, you have a second chance to meet the winners of the lower bracket finals and be able to redeem yourselves going into the grand finals. So this will be happening on Saturday at 6 p.m., same time, same place, just a couple days away.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one, too. It should be a lot of really thrilling races with 4 teams that have proven time and time again to stand alone, basically, at the top of the standings here in KDL Preseason 2. Is, you know, Sungnam Rocks, from the addition of Ding, have solidified their roster so much. Live Sandbox, they've shuffled their roster after losing some key players in KDL Preseason 1, and they're back again here in Seed 2. Sensation, the return of Hojun, as good as ever, you know, living back to the legend of old. And also the Freaks, I mean, they're the reigning champs, and they're still a force to be reckoned with. So there's so many storylines to follow. Everyone's looking so strong. Yeah, I mean, it should be a fun playoffs. That's once again on Saturday at 6 p.m., same time, same place. We'll see you then. That's it for today's broadcast. Thank you so much for joining us here at the KDL.